Hello friends! Ako di ni si Bogart the Explorer, and today's mission is a unique one. We're diving into the world of craftsmanship and combat, where the Filipino spirit shines through blades, sticks, and brushstrokes. Because in the Philippines, artistry isn't just about beauty. Sometimes it's about survival, heritage, and expression. Welcome to Craft and Combat. This is Storya ng Bayan. Our first stop, Batangas, the land of bold coffee, brave warriors, and the legendary balisong. Also known as the butterfly knife, ang balisong dili lang armas. It's a symbol of skill, pride, and tradition nga gipasa gikan sa mga katigulangan. Behind every blade is a craftsman, and behind every flip is a story. Let's unfold the legacy of the balisong.
Ang malaking katulungan nitong balisong, ito ay isang nagbigay ng tatak sa Batangueño na pag sinabing Batangueño yan, meron niyang patalim sa tagiliran. Ang isang bagay na dapat ikaw ay meron ay yung sa lahat ng pagkakataon na ikaw ay handa. Meron kang pansungkit ng tinik, may pamutol ka ng lubid, meron kung ang iyong kuko ay napilas, meron kang pantrim na doon sa kuko. Iba na yung lagi ng handa. Kasi nga, pag sabi ng iba na yung may dalang toothpick pag ikaw ay natin nga may pang-corvid. Hindi naman ito ginawa para makasakit ka ng iyong kapwa. Ito ay isang bagay na makakatulong sa iyong buhay, sa kung ano man ang mangyayari sa iyo, may pansip ka. Ang balisong ay isang parang utility knives katulad nga ng Swiss knife. O bakit dito pinahihintulutan? Ito nga ang isang nakakasakit din ng damdamin eh. Yung mga produkto ng ibang bansa ay tinatambak dito sa atin. Katulad ng mga yaring China. Mga blade na yaring China. Wala namang, kung ikukumpara natin ang quality, talagang yung kanila ay hindi makakakumpara dito sa ating ginagawa. Mas mahal pa ng ibang Pilipino yung yari sa ibang bansa. Hindi natin tangkilikin yung sariling atin para tayo masiso. Marami pa dyan ang naunang nagbukas sa akin. So, kaya lang yung quality ng balisong ay ginawa kong paangatin o para hindi lang para sa Pilipino kundi para sa ibang bansa na makagiliwan o mahikayat natin bumili. Ang aming price ay hindi katulad ng iba na yung bang umaangat kung sino yung dumating. Halimbawa, isang naka-Mercedes. Sa ibang tao, umaangat yung presyo niya. Sa amin hindi, level sa lahat. Kung ano ang bigay kay Juan, gayon din kay Pedro. Hindi mo kasi dapat dayain ng isang tao para magkapera ka lang. Kung ikukumpara natin yung pang-ordinaryong balisong, mga ganito lang yung kaninipis noong dugtong o tinatawag nating bolster. O kaya yung bahay, ganito lang ang mga klase sa ngayon. Pero yung sa amin, kung may kukumpara natin, yung kapal ng mga components, saka yung mga sangkap nga, ay kakaiba. Maaring ang sasabihin ko ay hindi ka panipaniwala, pero kapag narating niyo yung sa ibang display, saka nyo makikita na dito nga lang pala sa ONAS makikita yung cut. So wala po ito sa kanila. Kung ganito yung thickness sa mga 6 mm ang thickness, saka itong ganitong bahay, at saka itong quality ng blades. Hindi tayo maaaring mapansin ng taga-ibang bansa kung ang ating ipakikita ipangkaraniwan lamang. So kailangan mas higit pa yung sa nakikita nila doon sa kanilang bansa. Meron din sila pero hindi katulad ng ganito na niyari ito sa kamay, yung kanila sa machine. So, hindi lang tayong Pilipino nagmamahal dito, kung hindi yung taga-ibang bansa na hinahanap ito kung saan ginawa, kung saan binubuo. Merong isang dayuhan na sadyang nagpunta dito para lang makita yung paano ko nga binuksan yung balisong. So, natutuwa siya dahil ang pagkaalam niya ay edit lang sa YouTube. Kasi nga ito ay dying craft na ngayon dahil nga sa mga gumagawa sa ngayon ay matatanda na. Yung kanilang mga inanak ay wala nang pagpansin o sumunod sa mga gawain ng kanilang magulang dahil sa mahirap na bagay. Ang gusto ngayon ng kabataan, kaya nakasama yung modern technology, ay ang gusto ngayon ng mga bata ay kumari push button lahat ng bagay. Katulad ng isang magsasaka. Yung pangarap ng isang magsasaka sa kanyang anak, ayaw niyang maging magsasaka pa rin ng kanyang anak. So, iyan ang nakasasama. Paano kung wala nang magsaka? Di wala na tayong kakainin. Kaya nga ako ay tumataya sa loto dahil ang pangarap ko ay magkapera. Hindi para sa aking sarili lang. Kung hindi ang pangarap ko ay pagdating mo, halimbawa ikaw ay isang dayuhan na dumating ka sa punto na ikaw ay papasok ng teritoryo ng Batangas, makikita mo na doon yung balisong na nakatindig. Yun ang gusto kong mangyari sa buhay ko bago ako mamatay. Yung makapagtayo ako ng isang struktura na balisong. Ikaw ay dumating na sa probinsya ng Batangas. Ito na ang Batangas, ito na yung aming pinagmamalaking hanap buhay. Yan, ang balisong.
Next, we move from blade to sticks. Arnis or eskrima or kali, call it whatever you want. Pero usara ang mensahe. The Filipino knows how to fight with rhythm, with grace, and with heart. It's our national martial art. But more than that, it's about discipline, defense, and honoring our roots. So get ready for strikes, blocks, and a whole lot of swag. This is arnis.
In every martial discipline around the world, there is what we call the respect for in Japanese, the sensei, the guro. So sa atin kasi, di ba, we are Asians. And we are known to bow. So yung paglalagay natin ng hand natin malapit sa puso, it symbolizes our sincerity in learning. So it also symbolizes the sincerity in our respect for our elders.
I would not be where I am now as a public servant kung di ko naranasan ang dinaanan ko noon sa pagka-athlete in Kali, Eskrima, and Arnis. It taught me discipline, it taught me sportsmanship, it taught me perseverance, na kung matalo ka, may laban naman next month, may laban naman sa sunod na taon, training ka ulit to get up on your 2 feet and fight it out. At it gave me courage. It gave me courage. So, ang ganda ng mga traits na ito na sana maranasan din to ng mga kabataan natin na yan.
The Filipino martial arts is the most complete martial arts. If you are going to apply it in the law enforcement, nagagamit po talaga siya. Not to hurt, okay? Not to hurt those people who are harmful, but just to subdue them.
Sariling atin ito eh. If you look at history of Arnis, Kali, and Eskrima, itong ginamitan ng ating mga national heroes. Lapu-Lapu, the very first defender of the Philippines. Siyang kauna-unang Pilipino nakapagpanalo o nananalo sa digmaan laban ang mga dayuhan. Siya po ang tinatawag namin na original Supreme Grandmaster.
Yung mga ancestors namin, they didn't even know na arnis pala yung mga hawak nila na gamit. So they are already performing arnis during those wars, no? So in the time of the Spanish colonization, no, nung ini-invade tayo ng Spaniards, okay? So meron tong mga Spaniards umaakyat doon sa Cordillera. So yung mga sumusunod na Spaniards, nagugulat na lang sila na bakit nagro-roll down yung mga ulo ng mga kasama nila. Okay? So doon sila natakot. So yun doon nila tinawag na savage land yung Cordillera. So doon nagsimula yung word na Igorot. So ibig sabihin yung Igorot, yung I is taga. And then yung Gorot means taga mountain. In the ethnic groups, hindi lang naman kasi yung mga kalalakihan ang laging nagde-defend. Siyempre, ang turo sa amin ng mga lolo't lola namin, kung nakikigera yung mga ancestors namin, natitira yung mga lady ancestors namin. So, in that case, nangyayari yung tinatawag nila na ambush. Okay, so yung mga lady ancestors namin, natuturuan din lumaban. So, with the use of weaponry, na-defend din ng mga lady ancestors namin yung land namin doon sa Cordillera. So, ang laging bagay ng arnis, hindi lang nila na i-point out na arnis pala yung ginagamit nila.
Honor. Yung honorableng paglaro na walang dayaan. Because as an arnis fighter and as a escrimador, we practice the honor system, the honor rule sa labanan. So, napakalaga sa amin yung pagiging honorable, meaning using honor and dignity sa aming ginagawa, day-to-day activities.
So part of the training, for example, yung pain threshold mo nasa 7, if you go into training, tumataas siya hanggang 10. So whatever comes your way, kaya mo. And it also goes with life, di ba? Your discipline, it increases your threshold for everything that is being thrown by life with you. So kung ano man yun, kayang-kaya mo siya, kakayanin mo siya because of the discipline that Filipino martial arts brings into you, into your character, and into your personality.
From combat to color, our final stop takes us to the wild world of Pinoy pop art. Meet Peter Marco of Marco Art Manila, an artist who takes one of the most iconic symbols of Filipino life, the jeepney, and turns it into a pop culture masterpiece. Murag museum meets kalsada. Murag graffiti meets jeep barkada. This isn't just art, it's storytelling on wheels. Let's ride into the imagination of pop art jeepneys.
Mapa Luzon, Visayas o Mindanao man, hindi mapagkakailang bahagi na ng pang-araw-araw na buhay ng mga Pilipino ang jeep, ang hari ng kalsada. Sino ba naman ang hindi mahihikayat na sumakay sa pambihirang sasakyang ito? Ang jeep ay pinamana ng mga Amerikano sa Pilipino noong katapusan ng ikalawang digmaang pangdaigdig. Mula sa pagiging sasakyang pang-militar, ang jeep ay naging paboritong pampublikong transportasyon ng mga Pilipino. Ang jeep ay kalaunan naging lehitimong industriya ng sasakyan sa bansa. Marahil, ang pinakapopular na kumpanyang gumagawa ng jeep ay ang Sarao. Bukod sa hatid nitong ginhawa, unti-unting nakilala ang jeep sa buong mundo. Dahil na rin sa mapaglaro at malikhain nitong anyo. Isa sa mga taong nabighani sa ganda ng jeep ay ang Amerikanong pop artist na si Peter Marco.
I love painting on stuff, vehicles. I have actually a GMC step van in the States that I use in New York. It's an old, like a delivery truck. I painted the whole outside of it. I started actually my career selling my art on the street. So the truck kind of is very true to the genesis or the origins of the brands. I actually literally sell my art out of my truck a block or two away from where I first started selling my art on the street, which is I just take the canvases were all rolled up and with some clothespins and I pin them to the wall and people would just come by and buy them for me for not a lot of money, but more money than I was making doing whatever jobs I was doing at the time. The word is based on popular culture. So, famous dead artists like Andy Warhol, Keith Haring, people along those lines were the guys, I guess, who were credited for the beginning of the movement. But it really is just based on popular culture. So, and that changes with time. As time goes by, the culture changes. And the pop artist kind of takes elements from the popular culture or the culture of their times. Whatever's trending or whatever's currently popular. It could be political stuff, it could be art stuff, music stuff. Define my art as pop art, but other people define it as pop art, so then I go along with it. I'm not gonna buck the trend, I'm not gonna argue with them and say it's some other kind of art. It wouldn't really be called graffiti. That's one thing it wouldn't be called. So a lot of times people might miscategorize and say, oh, you're a graffiti writer. And traditionally, graffiti writing is defined as someone who writes on walls. But pop art does not fit into the category of graffiti in general. They're kind of two separate categories, but there's some overlap here and there. Every once in a while, pop artists will collaborate with a graffiti writer, like I've collaborated with a lot of graffiti writers in my career. I work in a lot of different mediums. I work in film, I write, I do all kinds of stuff. But the one nice thing about this, doing my art, the pop art, is that nothing gets lost in translation. And when the people who live there walk around, they'll see these nice pictures, and immediately kids were coming by when it was finished, or even when I was painting it, and they're laughing and they're looking at the characters. So that is the most gratifying, and that's why martial art's fun. When I landed in the Philippines, my first time ever, and it's pouring rain. It's around this time of the year, but a little later, so the rains had started. And we got out of the airport, and we start driving, and the first thing I saw was these jeepneys. I didn't know what they were. And I'm looking at them, and I asked Jeanette, I said, what in the world are these things here? They're all painted cool colors and everything. And they said it's like a private public transportation system they have, and they all have different owners, and they decorate them any way they want. I said, this is incredible. It was the first thing that I saw. When I saw the jeepney, I saw it. It was like it's as ubiquitous to the Philippines as like the yellow taxi cab is to New York. And a hell of a lot more interesting, because each one's different. They all have their own personality, and, the body of the truck, everything about it's just really incredible, piece of workmanship. They make a hell of a lot of noise. And it's like, it makes a statement. Here, culture is so part of everyday life that it's appealing to people who come to visit, because the last thing you want to see is your culture.
Iba't iba man ang pinatutunguhang destinasyon ng mga Pilipino. Ang jeep ay mananatili sa ating puso at patuloy na magbibigay ng kulay at karangalan sa ating bansa.
From blades to sticks to brushes, what a journey, mga amigo. Each craft tells a story. Each move is a message. Each creation, a tribute to the brilliance and bravery of the Filipino. We are warriors. We are artists. We are a people of craft and combat. Ako si Bogart the Explorer, and this has been Storya ng Bayan. Till our next mission, keep exploring, mga kaibigan. And of course, like, follow, and subscribe to Storya ng Bayan on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. Support art, support tradition, support Filipino greatness.